if you have been watching my series and you've come this far, guys, thank you so much for just being loyal enough to get to the end with me. I know it's been a long journey and it's been a long series. Trust me, I've been in it and I've experienced this whole thing for about 6 months or more. However, 3-4 months after the whole drama, I am here to give a final review of how this whole skin journey was like for me. So I won't waste any more of your time, but I really want to say thank you so much. If you're just tuning in, my name is Melinda and we are here to discuss how my skin journey started and how I am where I am now. So let's jump right in. But before we go, please don't forget to subscribe, and please feel free to comment in the description below, because all your comments gets us talking and sharing and learning, and I like that. So do share this video so that if you know anyone else who's having skin issues or someone who is thinking of going on medication for acne, that they can watch to give them sort of like an overview side of how this is all like. But let's jump right in. So we're going to just do a brief story of where I started or how the series started. I've had acne for, I want to say, more than 10 years. And it got to a point where I was fed up. So I went to my doctor and my doctor advised me to go see a dermatologist. She gave me a referral. But because this dermatologist needs blood tests to prove that your iron levels are okay, your kidneys are working good, and I think cholesterol or something else is doing okay, you have to get the blood tests before, so that by the time the results come up, they go straight to the dermatologist office. So by the time I go to his office for my appointment, he already has my results. So that saves me a trip to go and get a script to get the bloods, and then you wait for another appointment to then go back because now they've got the bloods. Unfortunately, because my iron levels are usually low, I had to first get an iron infusion, which I got maybe a week before my appointment, so that by the time I go for my blood tests, my levels were good and the doctor will give me the green light. So I went for my first appointment on the 4th of April or on the 3rd. I know I went in April, but I know I started my skin journey on the 4th of April. So I went to see the dermatologist and I walked in, explained my situation, showed him photos of the worst time that my skin has ever been like this, and it was like a magnifying glass that he looked at my skin and he realized that I don't know what he said it was called, but it was something to do with my oil glands. I have so many oil glands in my body that produce so much oil. So even if I drink right, sleep right, exercise and whatnot, because it's an internal thing, I will always struggle with oil because my body produces so much oil. So this medication kind of goes and, I don't know, cut down the oil supply so that I have a normal or average oil supply. So the first prescription I got was for 40 milligrams of Orotate, and I use 20, but because I have to take 2 tablets a day, so I took 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. I made sure that I ate something before every tablet, because I saw someone on YouTube saying that they tried it and they ended up getting very sick and in hospital because they took the tablet on an empty stomach. However, I did go to my dermatologist after, like maybe my second appointment, and he said to me, you don't have to eat anything per se. You can take a banana and a glass of milk. That's enough to take the tablet with it, but you don't specifically have to. So to be safe, I just took a banana, like he said, because I didn't want to mess anything up, because I really wanted this journey to work and be my last experience of this whole situation. So as soon as I started taking, I wrote everything down. As soon as I started taking my medication at 40 milligrams a day for about 4 weeks, I think, because they test you out on the low dose to check how your body's going to respond, and then you get another blood test, and then they up your dose, checking if everything is working okay in case something is damaged. And another thing, you cannot be pregnant on this medication. You have to make sure that you're not pregnant, because I think it affects that pregnancy really badly. So I wasn't. And the first symptoms that I experienced were dry lips. Dry lips were the first to go. I think in the second or third day. First day I felt it, but I thought it was psychological. But then as the day went, I realized, nah, my lips are really dry. I was going with the Vaseline, the usual, but that didn't help, because obviously this is intense. So I quickly went to my handy dandy Lantinol, which is a nipple cream. Very good. This was my best friend. Everywhere I went, I had to have this on me. Even if I left the house, I would forget my phone, forget my keys. But this, no, absolutely not. That's how bad. It was so bad that when you smile and you don't have this on, your lips would crack from the sides. So I got to a point where I wasn't smiling like, you know, the typical smile. I would smile like, because I had already cracked, so I couldn't risk cracking again. So my only option was to let that heal first before I can smile again, but make sure that I'm always putting that on. So that worked. Very expensive. I think it's about $14 or so. I tried the Target brand. Just get this. The next thing that I had was back. My back pain was at first work related, but then as I progressed and my dose got higher, I realized it was medication related, because I could feel every time I bent over, stood up and whatnot. But it wasn't as bad as painkiller-ish bad. Some people that I've, looked up on YouTube definitely took painkillers for their back pain. Mine, I guess I was used to it. I don't know, but I didn't take any painkillers. I just made sure that every day after work, I would lay on the carpet or lay on the tile and just stay there flat and straight for 15 to 20 minutes. My husband told me to do that because he's a physio. And then another thing was itchiness. I used to feel a lot of itchiness behind my wrists and my neck. So I'm not sure why those areas specifically, but the dermatologist did mention that you do wash your hands more often. Sometimes you wash like when you go to the toilet, but you don't, moisturize, so they tend to get drier quicker. My neck, I'm not sure, but maybe because it was winter and I'll be wearing jumpers and jackets, maybe they took off the lotion. I really don't know, but it definitely was more itchy in those areas than everywhere else. So I just have to make sure that wherever I am, or if I wash my hands, I'm moisturized. It wouldn't dry up as much as my face or my body, but it definitely helped. The next thing that I experienced was a lot of breaking out. I broke out worse, 10 times worse than I originally broke out when I went to see the dermatologist. So in my mind, I was like, I really thought something wasn't right. But I remembered when I was watching some of the videos, a lot of them did mention that it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And I probably didn't pay attention to that. But when it started happening, I went back to look at it and I thought, because it's pretty much my body spitting oil everywhere, and all the oil that it can spit. It was an explosion. And I will tell you how difficult it was to go out and do stuff like that, because I couldn't wear makeup. I could, but I chose not to, simply because it was a lot of work. Try putting on makeup on skin that's just peeling, like falling off. My skin peeled so much that I stopped scrubbing it, because I peeled 2 to 3 times a day. You get in the morning you wake up, you wash, you put your moisturizer. By the time I got to work, I was flaking all over my cheeks and my nose. Oh, I'll get to that. I'll get to that. I had a lot of dry skin, which originally my body's always been oily. I don't really have that problem. So what I did, because I had started making my own lotion, I made a concoction of jojoba oil, shea butter, coconut oil, bio oil, sunscreen. So this is what I use. If you want me to do it, please let me know, and I will, if 10 people request a tutorial on this, I will do a tutorial showing you how I make it. By 3 months, my dose was upped to 50 milligrams first, which meant I needed a 20 milligram box, and I needed a 10 milligram box. So these two, I'll take 20 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, and then 20 in the evening. So that gave me my 50 for the day. By the time I went back to the dermatologist, he upped my dose to 60 milligram. So at 60 milligram, I was just taking them 3 per day. So I could take 30 in the morning and 30 in the evening, which just saved me the 3rd dose that I had to take midday. Midway through the course of my medication, I think maybe month 2, 3-ish, I had a red eye. I didn't understand why, and it was there for like 2 days. So I went to the optician so that he can have a look. He had a look and he said I actually had burst a muscle or a vein. I think it's a vein, an artery, a vein. I had burst something in my eye, and I couldn't see. I could see because I was obviously threading needles and doing people's clothes, but I couldn't see far enough to read stuff at that time. So I got these babies. I had to start wearing glasses so that I don't damage my eyes any further. So for the purpose of this video, I will be wearing my glasses, so that if you decide to go ahead with this medication, you might just have a peek of the potential that this medication brings. Yes, this happened. This absolutely happened. But I don't regret it, because I actually like these glasses. I actually like my glasses. I like the frame. I wear them when I rarely wear them. I wear them when I really need them. Like if I have to drive and look for people's addresses, and sometimes I need to read street names, I will wear my glasses. But if I don't have to wear my glasses and I don't have to read anything specific and that's too far, I don't wear my glasses. So I'll just go through the list of things that I used throughout my journey. I obviously have glasses. I talked about my sugar, which was what I combined with my Cetaphil. So I used Cetaphil, which I had for years, and I thought I won't buy any, I'll just use this one. When that started running out, the doctor had given me a sample of dermal soap-free wash. So it's definitely more soppier than Cetaphil, but it works really well with the sugar. So I did this every 3rd to 5th day, depending on how my skin was shedding, pretty much. And it worked really, really well. However, sometimes I would use Millimil. So I don't have an actual packaging of this, but most African countries have Millimil, but it's like maize that has been ground into powder. But then I don't think it's the same thing as corn flour, because when I say that, people are like, oh, so it's corn flour. No, it's not. It's Millimil. I don't know how else to say it, but it's Millimil. So I use that one because it gives you that rough whatever when you're cleansing your skin. Another thing that I use, so I would wash my face with these, and then after washing my face, I was using this toner. It's a Nivea Visage Young Toner. It burnt me. It hurt like it, woo! So I stopped using that toner. And in one of my videos I showed you that I was using Gentle Magic toner, which I don't have with me right now, but I moved it from the actual container that it was in, and I put it in a small spray bottle, which I use to spray. Stop me from buying those little cotton round thingies and then doing all of that. So I just spray it on and let it dry. Easy, fast, simple. After I finish all of that, I would put my Gentle Magic serum, which it did help in terms of not reacting, not feeling itchy or stingy or whatever. It was really good. And then I wouldn't put this one on as yet, because at that point in time I didn't want my skin or my face to be matte. I wanted it to be, you know, moisturized and just keep it like that. So I'd just leave it as that. During the day, because I'd get dry maybe soon after, I would then update my face with a lot of the dermal dry skin lotion. So this was at work and in my car, and I also used it for my hands or wherever I felt itchy at that time. I'll just get a quick wipe myself, wipe my hands, and put that on to just give me that comfort of not scratching a lot. So I used to use these nose strips. I think I got these from Kmart, I think, where you just get one of them and you put it around your nose with, I think you spray water or you put water, you put it around your nose and it dries up, and then after 10 to 15 minutes you peel it off. Yo, the gunk that came out of these, I think I would have to do 2 to 3 strips of these in like the 30 minutes that I'll be doing it, and a lot of it came out. So I would do this on my nose and on my chin, because I had a lot of those spiking yellow gooey stuff that just, whew. This helped. It definitely helped. So I used a lot of this. I think I'm only left with like 2 strips of this. I'll probably use it, I'm not sure for what, but my money's worth. I have to use it up. My final highest dose was around, I want to say July, August, which my dermatologist then started taking my dose down. So I was now going back from 60, which was my peak, and then he started me back on 50, and then he gave me enough to last me back to 40, and then I'll stop. But because I want to confess, I didn't stop. I didn't stop because I was so scared that it was gonna come back again. That's one. 2, I had enough of this medication to last me another 2 months. And like I said, my money's worth. I wanted my money's worth, hence I had to keep taking it so that I pretty much don't stay with any of these leftover medications. And now I ended up, I couldn't take the lip dryness. It was, the drying of the lips was just driving me nuts, because I knew I'm taking this medication. My skin is fine now. I'm just waiting for the new skin to come in and the exfoliation and this and this and that. So finally I just gave it up, and I was like, you know what, yeah, if I knew someone who was, you know, going through this or taking the same medication, I could have given them whatever's left over of mine, but I don't, because it's not something that people talk about. And you know, it's just, there's not enough platforms for us to share some of these struggles and whatever it is. So in the end, I just kept them. But the chances of it coming back are not as high as me not doing anything about it. Like, I chose this because of my lifestyle and the vision of where I want to go. And one thing for me is, I want to be comfortable going anywhere with no makeup and not think, oh, I didn't put my makeup on. Because my skin is okay. My face is okay. And because I do a lot of, I did a lot of fashion shows and photo shoots and all these things where I ended up having a shop, I was forced to be in that space of having to apply makeup all the time. But now I don't have to do that, because all I need pretty much is to touch up my lips depending on whatever color hair I have, or my eyes if I need to, and my eyebrows. What I simply do is,
here I am, know it's been a while, I was in denial about my love. Here I stand, I know I walked away, had to find the person I'd become. You should go back home, go back home, go back home, go. Just been there all along. You should go back home, go back home, go back home, go. That's where you belong. You should go back home, go back home, go back home, go. That's where you belong.
and that is it. That is my makeup routine. Alright? This way, I have nothing to do other than my lips and my eyes. My face, I'm happy with. It's not perfect because it's work in progress. I still need to get rid of all these scars so that I don't have to put any foundation afterwards. Please feel free to comment in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going. If you are actually going through this, do share and tell us more about your experience. If you want to go ahead or you want to try this out, please make sure you sit down with your doctor first before you go ahead with this. And in the event that you do go ahead with this type of serious medication, it is definitely a serious medication. Let me say that again. This is a serious medication. You need to make sure that you are capable and able to pretty much go through this. However, I feel 3 months down the line, I haven't had any acne. I haven't experienced any acne issues. My skin is doing good. Even when I am at that time of the month, I don't get any breakouts whatsoever. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Feel free to watch some of my videos on the DIY and the craft that I do. I'm actually a fashion designer by profession, and I do a lot of sewing tutorials. And if you want to learn anything sewing related or sometimes craft related, let me know in the description below and I'll get onto it. If you want to know how I colored my hair red, it's actually a funny story. Let's talk about it. Let me know in the description below, and I can show you how I colored my hair, because I've chosen to color my hair simply because I know that hair will grow. If this doesn't work, I can just cut it off and I will start again, because hair will grow. So yeah, I like it. I actually did this myself, and I think this is my go-to hairstyle now, because I don't have to do my hair as often and I can just go to sleep without bothering about my hair, and I just spray water on it and oil it from time to time. That's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.